Good morning. I'm going to talk to you now about density. Density is how much space a certain weight of an object takes up. Dense objects include metals, which are very heavy for a small amount of space. A low density object would be like styrofoam. A whole big space can be taken up with very little weight or mass behind it. Density is affected by different factors, the compounds, the compression, but for our purposes, we're going to define density as mass divided by volume. With this letter P looking thing we call rho is equal to mass divided by volume. On the left side, we have a density column. These are different materials stacked on top of each other. Perhaps you've noticed that oil will float on top of water. A density column is a group of different materials stacked on top of each other based on density. Now, we can use density to determine mass, volume, or to solve for density depending on what we're given. Our formula is density times volume equals mass. So if we have the density and the volume, we can determine the mass. For example, water is a gram per milliliter. If I have a liter of water, that mass is 1,000 grams or 1 kilogram. It is just 1,000 mils, which is our volume, multiplied by a gram per milliliter. That's our density. Multiplied together gives us 1,000 grams. Now, one thing about density is density changes based on temperature. We're all going to really ignore that for now and just have a standard temperature that doesn't change. Now, the density equation is density is equal to mass divided by volume. And to simplify this, we've created a triangle for you. On top is mass, on the bottom is density and volume. To solve the density problem, put the two knowns in the pyramid. And then you'll have one remaining letter. If the remaining letter is on top, multiply the two things in the bottom by one another. If the empty letter is on the bottom, take the top number and divide by the bottom number. That's how you solve any density problem. To solve these problems, it's easiest just to look for units. Now let's look at the units. First is mass. Mass is how much something weighs. It's measured in grams, kilograms, or pounds. Volume is how much space something takes up. That's measured in liters, milliliters, or cubic centimeters. Density is just the combination of the two. It's mass per unit of volume, represented in grams per cubic centimeters or grams per milliliter, sometimes kilograms per liter. Here's a sample problem. An object has a volume of 825 cubic centimeters and a density of 13.6 grams per cubic centimeter. Find its mass. Well, let's look at our knowns. We have cubic centimeters, that's going to be a volume, and grams per cubic centimeters, that's going to be a density. All right, we need to know the mass. So filling in our knowns, we know the volume is 825 and the density is 13.6. Our unknown is on top. To solve, we're just going to multiply our volume, 825, by 13.6. which gives us 11,220 grams. Let's do another one. Liquid has a density of 0.87 grams per milliliter, and what volume is occupied by 25 grams? First thing we need to find out is what are our knowns? 25 grams is a mass. 0.87 grams per milliliter is a density. If you have both units, it's density. Now looking at our triangle, mass, which is our 25 grams, goes on top, and our density, 0.87 grams per milliliter, goes at the bottom. At this point, volumes are unknowns, what we want. So we're going to take the top number, the 25 and divide it by the bottom number. 25 divided by 0.87 is 28.7 milliliters. Let's do another one. You can have a sample with a mass of 620 grams and a volume of 653, it's cut off to the other side, cubic centimeters. Find the density. First of all, what are our two knowns? All right, grams is a unit of mass, and cubic centimeters is a unit of volume. So I have a mass and volume. All right, looking at our pyramid, I have a mass of 620 grams and a volume of 753 centimeters squared, and I don't know what the density is. All we have to do is take the mass, divide by the volume. 620 grams divided by 753 is 0.82 grams per centimeter cubed. Now I want you to do one. You have a sample with a mass of 500 grams and a volume of 200 centimeters cubed. Find the density. First, I need you to find the mass and volume. Okay. Well, our mass is 500 grams and our volume is 200 cubic centimeters. All we have to do is put in the 500 grams on top and the 200 cubic centimeters on the bottom. And that gives us a density of 2.5 grams per cubic centimeter. And that's it. If you have any questions, here's our email. Have a good rest of your day.